Welcome back to another Insane Criminal File, fellas. Today's episode brings us to Livingston, Texas, and this one is nothing short of disturbing. A bright, loving 11-year-old girl gets ready for school, like any other day. She waves goodbye, but never makes it to class. For 5 long days, her family, friends, and the entire community search in panic.
We're actively following leads, and so that's exactly what we're doing here now. We've got boats that are in the water, and we've also got dogs that are down there as well. Our hope is that with all the equipment that we're bringing in here, that we can bring her home safely.
Until divers make a discovery that changes everything. A body, a betrayal. A trusted family friend becomes the prime suspect. This is the story of Audrii Cunningham, the young girl whose disappearance and death shook an entire state, and whose name would soon spark calls for a new law. Oh, one more time before we dig in, I upload true crime breakdowns once or twice a week, so do you teach her a favor and hit that subscribe button. So, Audrii Danielle Cunningham was born on the 5th of February, 2013. She lived in Livingston, Texas, with her father, Josh Cunningham, grandparents Tabitha and Philip Munch, and other family. Her school, the Livingston Independent School District, remembered her as a bright, kind-hearted girl. Teachers said she had an infectious smile, loved purple, and was always making others laugh. On the 14th of February, the day before she vanished, Audrii completed a group project in her favorite color, purple. Little did anyone know that would be her final act in the classroom. It was the 15th of February, 2024, when 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham woke up and got dressed just like any other morning. Her family believed she would catch the school bus at the usual stop and head off for another day at school. But by afternoon, they would learn the devastating truth. Audrii never made it to class. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Audrii was last seen around 7 a.m. near the 100 block of Lakeside Drive in Livingston, Texas. She should have boarded her bus, but she didn't. When her teachers confirmed she hadn't shown up, panic set in. Within hours, an Amber Alert was issued, and what followed was one of the most intense community searches this small Texas town had ever seen. Dozens of law enforcement agencies, volunteers, and search teams joined forces, combing through wooded areas, lakes, and rural roads. News crews showed up. Family members pleaded on camera. The entire community of Livingston, usually quiet and close-knit, found itself in the middle of a nightmare.
David, this is the stuff that you see on TV, and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through, and there's not words for it. Allegedly dropped off at her bus stop, and later on we come to learn that she never even made it on the bus.
And I can understand the public's concern that we're not giving out a lot of information, but the end here is to find Audrii and bring her home.
Then came the first clue, Audrii's backpack. It was discovered near Lake Livingston, setting off a massive search effort. Teams worked around the clock, air units, boats, drones. Even the Trinity River Authority was called in to lower water levels to help divers and K9 units search. For days, hope battled against dread in Livingston, because this wasn't normal. This wasn't supposed to happen here. The longer the search went on, the heavier the fear became, until the 20th of February, 5 days later. On that day, fear turned into heartbreak. Search teams who had been working tirelessly along the Trinity River made a grim discovery: the body of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Her remains were found tied to a large rock beneath the water's surface. It was a sight no one on that riverbank will ever forget. An autopsy later confirmed what everyone feared. Audrii's death was a homicide. The cause, blunt force trauma to the head.
Appreciate it. It has been great. I want to thank again everyone who has been engaged in the efforts to find Audrii, from the investigators to the volunteers who have spent countless hours in hopes of finding her, and to the community members who have been here supporting us since day one. I also want to say thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach areas of interest. But at this time, I sadly announced that Audrii's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrii, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert.
What had once been a desperate search for a missing child was now a murder investigation. And the next question on everyone's mind was simple. Who could do something like this? And why? As investigators started piecing together Audrii's last known movements, one name kept surfacing. Don Steven McDougal, 42 years old, a family acquaintance, someone who was supposed to be trusted. McDougal lived on the back of the Cunningham home. Near Lake Livingston, the family was letting him live there because he said he wanted to get back on his feet and asked for a second chance.
He had been in prison, and we knew all about that. And we checked the registry, there was nothing there. So we agreed to help him.
And was known to give the little girl rides to the bus stop when her dad was busy. The morning Audrii vanished, that's exactly what she was supposed to do. Catch a ride with Don. Except this time, she never made it. As the search ramped up, detectives started canvassing neighbors, reviewing security footage, and checking cell data. Multiple witnesses recalled seeing McDougal's dark blue 2003 Chevrolet Suburban near the area that morning. The same vehicle that was later spotted near Lake Livingston Dam, where Audrii's backpack had been discovered. When investigators questioned McDougal, his story kept changing. He first said he hadn't seen Audrii that day, then admitted he had, but only briefly. Red flags everywhere. Then came the breakthrough. Digital forensics, cell phone data, placed both McDougal's phone and Audrii's near the Trinity River, not long after she disappeared. Detectives immediately obtained a search warrant inside McDougal's vehicle. They found what appeared to be blood evidence, samples that, according to later reports, matched Audrii Cunningham. That was all it took. On the 15th of February, the very same day she disappeared, McDougal was already in custody. Not yet for murder, but for an unrelated assault case. Once the forensic evidence came in, it all connected. McDougal wasn't just some stranger.
And then, 2 years later, this tragedy happens. We don't understand it because Audrii offered him nothing but kindness. Yes.
She didn't care what you looked like. You could have tattoos, you and I could be scared half to death of somebody, and she'd walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Audrii. How are you?" She was non-judgmental. We're raised into fearing a certain look. And that's the thing, is everybody looks at the exterior of somebody and makes that judgment, and I'm guilty too. She didn't, but she didn't.
Hello, I'm trying to try.
They said their decision of letting him live on the back of their home came from compassion and faith. The kind that teaches forgiveness, the kind that believes everyone deserves a new start. But mercy sometimes meets monsters. In their words, we showed compassion and mercy to this formerly incarcerated person, which reflects our faith. But we only learned the truth about him after our little girl was murdered, because Don Steven McDougal had a past, a very dark one. He wasn't just a man down on his luck. He was a repeat offender with a long criminal record, including multiple arrests, and one particularly disturbing secret. Years earlier, McDougal had been convicted of assaulting a young girl, and even served time for it.
Her car was broken down and she needed some help. As he approaches the vehicle, he's ambushed and stabbed.
Court records show the accused attacker is Steven McDougal.
He was stabbed 3 times in the back.
McDougal was not arrested. Feldman says his client notified authorities last week when he saw McDougal was named a person of interest in Audrii's disappearance. According to Feldman, McDougal was charged a few hours later for the August stabbing. Since then, more victims and witnesses in McDougal's accused accused crimes have come forward, like Caitlin Bolin, who says she witnessed McDougal beat her ex-boyfriend with a metal pipe in 2019.
All I could see was a metal pipe fly up in the air and slap Tyler in the head. And all I heard was Tyler screaming, "Stop, stop."
Why is it so important for you to speak out now?
You have to watch who you bring your children around. You have to watch who you associate yourself.
The family says when they checked the registry, nothing appeared. Some kind of loophole or clerical blind spot meant his name didn't show up when it mattered most. Had we known what we know now, they said, this man would have never set foot on our property, much less been part of our little girl's life. In the days that followed, the Cunningham family's grief turned into a call for justice. They urged lawmakers, both in Texas and in Washington, to close the loopholes that allowed a convicted predator to live next door to a child without warning anyone. One of McDougal's prior victims, a woman he assaulted when she was just a child, later spoke out too. Her words were haunting. The justice system failed me back then, and it failed Audrii now. Together, those two stories, years apart, expose the tragic truth about the gaps in the system and the devastating cost of trust misplaced. Within days of finding Audrii's body, Don McDougal was officially charged with capital murder.
My name is Shelley Sitton, and I am your Polk County District Attorney. I just want to take a few moments to explain how we're going to move forward from here. Based on all of the evidence that law enforcement has collected, they are in the process of preparing the appropriate arrest warrants for Don Steven McDougal. At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrii Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here.
In April 2024, a grand jury indicted Don Steven McDougal on capital murder charges in the death of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. McDougal was notified of the indictment while in custody on unrelated charges.
Come on. JP wants to talk to you. Where's your club? Hold on. I ain't got no clothes. Well, put your smock on for now. Well, come on out here. Well, no, man. Come on, man. Don't disrespect me like that. All right, well, wrap up in that. Wrap up in the blanket. Come on. Come on.
Reportedly naked, covered only by a blanket, when informed of the new capital charge.
You have the right to remain silent, not make any statement at all, and know that any statement that you make can and will be used against you at trial in court. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to or during the questioning.
Another bizarre act from a man who had already betrayed a family that had shown him nothing but mercy.
You have the right to terminate any interview at any time, and you have the right to have him tried if you're accused of a felony. Do you understand your rights, Mr. McDougal? Yep. Okay, do you want a court-appointed attorney or you're going to hire your own? Which one? I'll get an attorney. You're going to hire your own? Yep. All right, all I need you to do is sign right here for me. Your charge is capital murder, and it's a no bond.
Okay, thank you.
On the 17th of January 2025, McDougal accepted a plea deal. He pled guilty to capital murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors noted he was ineligible for the death penalty due to documented intellectual and developmental disabilities, making life imprisonment the maximum punishment allowed under Texas law. Lawmakers introduced Audrii's law.
Loophole. One loophole. And we lost a beautiful life. And God knows how many more.
A proposal to close the loopholes that let convicted predators like McDougal slip past sex offender registration and background checks.
Audrii Cunningham's family has been waiting more than a year to get the call that state legislators are going to hear their pitch to change Texas law.
We've been working on promoting Audrii's law now for a good 6 months.
House Bill 2000 is known as Audrii's Law. It's named after Audrii Cunningham, the 11-year-old girl brutally murdered last year. Her body found weighted down in the Trinity River. Her killer, Don Steven McDougal, was convicted of a 2007 sex crime against a child, but McDougal pled down the charges and never had to register as a sex offender.
Audrii's Law is kind of like a patch in the state of Texas sex offender registry.
The town of Livingston continues to honor her. Her school painted tributes in purple, her favorite color. Her name now stands as both a memory and a message. Audrii Cunningham was more than a headline. She was a daughter, a friend, a little girl who loved color and kindness. She should have had decades ahead of her. Instead, her life ended because the system failed her. Her name will live on in reforms, in prayers, and in classrooms, as a reminder that we must do better. If this story moved you, please subscribe. And if you ever suspect a child is at risk, act. Because sometimes the worst monsters aren't strangers, they are the ones we let inside. Until the next Insane Criminal File. Thanks for watching.